Dear Saro, it's raining in Cape Town today. 6 years have passed and the chill of August no longer startles me. I haven't written in a while. Not for lack of words, I just didn't know where to start. They call your 20s the golden decade, but for me it was a decade of mess. What happened, you would ask? It's an easy enough question when the reason is simple. A sleepless night, a piece of bad news. But how do you answer when something inside you simply fractured, quietly, without drama, just a fracture? And I think I spent the last 6 years trying to patch it up, or else to return to some imagined before. Because ahead of me loomed that sacred, frightening milestone, my 30th birthday. Did you ever imagine who you would be at 30? I did. I waited for it like one waits for a tide to come in. I pictured myself composed, grounded, a voice people listen to, scars but no sting.
Careful.
No more.
And a book with my name on its spine. But life as it does slipped in and reordered everything, and none of it came to pass. Did you ever feel that? As if you'd failed to hand in your life assignment. But then you were always more serene about such things than I ever was. I've often wondered why this number 30 shook me so, as if it weren't a date, but a deadline. A quiet pressure to prove something, to succeed, to win, to show the world and perhaps yourself that you were worth the bet. Oh, Saro, our 20s held so much. Technology degrees, first keys in hand, calendars soaked in productivity and meetings, marriages and their undoings, babies, wars, migrations. The world accelerated, and we tried to run with it. Over and over again, we searched for ourselves. And so did I. It was fashionable after all, this quest. Find your calling, find your work, find your fire, your thing. But the deeper I searched, the further I wandered. And I cried a lot. I examined my traumas and shortcomings. I went through memories I was ashamed of. I tried on archetypes and typologies, filled notebooks with podcast quotes. I so badly wanted to choose myself, but only the polished version of me, the one who didn't shake, who was emotionally tidy, who never wanted too much, who wasn't vulnerable. I wanted to wake up on the morning of my 30th birthday holding a sealed envelope. Congratulations, you have achieved your ideal self. You may now proceed with peace. I wanted someone to point the way, to tell me which door to open. But none of it made me happier. And one day I simply grew tired. Do you know that feeling of being both burnt out and burning? That longing for silence and something true? And so after years of peering into the future, or into other people, or into the fog of productivity, I turned finally to the mirror And when you look long enough into a mirror, Saro, you're bound to see someone small, someone familiar, someone astounded with wonder. I saw a little girl who loved words, who lived inside stories, who never left the house without a notebook. She didn't need to be invented. She was already me. She didn't question her worth and didn't bother with the things like finding yourself. The heavens felt close. People were just people, and a world somehow coherent. For years I tried to rescue her, to assure her of safety and my love. But all she really needed was to be seen. Everything changed when I stopped digging, when I remembered who I was before all this. Before they told me who to be and I believed them. Before I tried to become lovable, correct, composed. Before the ache, the leaving, the losses. And instead of gathering broken bits of who I should be, I remembered I don't need a new me. I saw myself again in stories. I began to write and read again. Books have always been my compass, my companion, my home. In losing myself in someone else's pages, I caught glimpses of truths I had long forgotten, my values, my voice. And you know, Saro, this persistent fear of living the wrong life, or not living my own life, yes, it still lingers, but it no longer shouts. It dims when I open a book. When I read, I live 1,000 lives. When I read, I let myself be the hero. And my life feels less daunting. Each book heals a little, and something inside me exhales. I don't ask my life to be perfect anymore. I just ask to be in it, fully. I'm 30, and I'm not who I thought I would be. I don't have a vision board life. I don't make anyone jealous or proud of it. But somehow, I no longer see that as a failure anymore. Maybe because I'm 30 now. And it strangely feels like adulthood. Not arrival, but return. Not conquering, but coming home. I thought I would become someone else, but instead I came back to myself. That fracture, Saro, it's still there. But Cohen once wrote, there is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. And he was right. Turns out nothing grows in stillness. And every movement sooner or later brushes up against pain. So, I write again. I want to write. I want to talk again. Please tell me everything. Until the next letter, yours, S.